Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Art and Outdoor Life here with John. I hope that you're having a great day, a good morning, great evening, wherever you are. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you for viewing. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm so used to using cotton paper, 100% cotton paper in the last almost a month now. So I went back and I'm using an 8 by 8 inch. You can call it a sketchbook. It's kind of in the middle there. And it's not 100% cotton paper. And I'm so used to using cotton paper that I fell in love with it. And I almost forgot what it was like to paint on your typical regular paper. So I'm only using a fan brush here. Okay, I've wetted the paper. I misted the paper a few times with a spray bottle, and the water kept sitting on the paper, sitting on top of the paper. It would not absorb into the paper. So I took a napkin and I went over it a few times. So I'm calling this, make your own adventure. So what I did was, with some ultramarine blue, just kind of went across the sky on the top. This is 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. So with some sap green and other greens, I'm just kind of dabbing along here. Now, the whole idea about this video is, and if you've seen my figure 8 paintings videos recently, you'll see the figure 8 in this, okay? But I'm not going to point it out to you. My intention with this video here is to, if you're a beginner watercolor painter, is to give you ideas. Okay. So I'm putting in a little bit of red. It doesn't matter what kind of red. In the background, I'm using a little bit of umber, and I'm using yellow ochre in here. Now, choose your own adventure. It's your own adventure, right? So, with the color mixing, the different color choices, and whatever you decide that feels good to you as you're painting. Here's some yellow ochre mixed right there. Whatever you feel that you're liking as you paint, you change how you paint, right? If you're doing it from imagination like I am here. Now you're going to watch this whole scene change. I was doing this, because I'm having personal time and I'm having fun. So the only white I'm using, and I am using white here and there, it's white gouache, okay? Now I do have, I have white watercolor paper, or watercolor paint. I do have that. But I just decided to put a little bit of white gouache on here, okay? Now watch this. So I'm creating a stream coming down, right? I've got some of the white on the mountains and such. And my thing to you is, especially if you're a beginner, these are ideas. You're going to watch this video, this painting, go from one thing to a completely different painting. And you can do this. Um, the problem with the white is when you start mixing it with other colors, blending it, you'll get that milky, chalky look. And wasn't I wasn't cleaning my fan brush doing this. Okay. But this video here is to give you ideas. And also, I hope that you get some confidence out of this. Okay. I'm mixing up some browns here, and I didn't sketch anything out. This is 8 by 8 inches of your basic Walmart brand, Grumbacher brand, which is not a bad paper. There's no such thing as bad paper when you're painting, right? If you look at some of the old, from the beginning of time, people painted on whatever they could paint on. And if they had the money, of course they painted on, the best they can get with the best paints. And I'm also using budget-friendly paints here. And I didn't even really have a palette. I didn't sit down and say, okay, I'm going to put these colors here. No, I didn't do that. What I did was what was on my palette, I just used it. And I was just having fun, and I was thinking, okay, well, what I'm going to do is make the best of it. Now you see I'm getting grays in there, and as you see, as you will notice in this video, I'm looking for distance. The distance, perspective, right? So I'm wanting to push back the background. And I'm using white right now to kind of do this, as well as with the darks, the dark blues with the browns. And I'm going to tell you, green and brown go very well together. But like I said, right here I got white mixed. White is sticking. The white gouache is sticking to my fan brush. And every time I'm putting it into a color, a hue, it's making it milky. I'm not getting that hue that I want. And that's fine. If you know what, for example, if you're looking for a certain perspective, a certain dynamic in your colors, and white plays a integral role in doing this. I'm using lemon yellow here now, and I'm trying to bring it down on the left side and on the right side, okay? But watch this. Okay. Just because you have a brush, it don't matter what brush you're using. In this case, I'm only using a fan brush. No matter what brush you are using, you don't have to just swoop it and swipe it and put it on very hard, right? Sometimes you just want to touch it, like barely touch the paint, barely touch the paper. And a light, gentle touch here and there can make an entire painting. So I'm using more white here. And I'm thinking, okay, this is a lot of white. Now what am I going to do here? What am I going to do here, right? So I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, I split the stream up. And so I'm putting in some more blue. That's The only blue I used was ultramarine blue. It doesn't matter, I mean, you can use a Prussian blue, which would be close to it. But really, this entire video here, it's just something I did. And your choice. It's up to you how you want to make it look. You can change every color and it'll come out completely awesome. It will. And, I mean, depending on how you want it to look. But remember this. It's the process. It's all about the process, right? The process is sitting it down and actually doing the painting. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do here? So I put some heavy white on there. And I'm like, okay, I'll create a waterfall. This was not in my mind in the beginning. In my mind in the beginning was basically sit down and paint. And what I was thinking was I wanted some mountains and a little stream. That's all I was thinking about. So here with the white still on the end of my the tip of my fan brush here, I mixed it up with some other colors, kind of the colors that I don't use. So all together, when you mix up all these colors and hues, you can get that gray tint to it. And there's so many ways of grays, right? So now it becomes a stormy sky, right? Stormy looking sky. And here I am. And look I'm using an umber, but it's so chalky because I still have white on my fan brush that it became kind of its own. So I put some ultramarine blue on there, changed it all up, and remember, this is only 8 inches by 8 inches. Okay? Now I'm barely touching it with some white. It's easy for any paintbrush, even for a liner brush or a rigger brush, it's very easy to put not only the tip, but to really put it on there without realizing you're doing that. And this applies to all your paintbrushes. Sometimes the best effects are when you barely touch the paper. The very soft touch of the paper with your colors. So I still have white on here. And everything is coming out kind of milky, kind of chalky, almost pastel. Almost a pastel-y look. So I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do here? Look at that. That's milky. That's pastel-y almost. It's grayish. Okay, so I put in some red, right? I have a little bit of red hue. The paper is wet, so apparently what I did was I took off some of that on the bottom. Not on purpose. Anyways, this is an idea. Make it your own. And I want to wish you a wonderful day. This was just a very quick painting I did. Johnny.